The alien emperor tried to control human women, but that was the moment humanity's hidden power finally woke up. The throne room of the Threxian Dominion was silent. So silent that even the glowing pillars of plasma seemed afraid to crackle. Hundreds of alien nobles stood in rigid rows as Emperor Zarvon rose from his obsidian throne. His armor, etched with symbols of conquered worlds, reflected a cold violet glow. With a thunderous crack, he slammed his golden scepter into the floor. Bring in the human females. The massive doors parted. 12 human women were escorted in. Scientists, soldiers, explorers, diplomats. Their wrists were bound with shimmering blue energy cuffs. Their clothes were torn, but their gazes were sharp, wary, unbroken. Whispers rippled through the nobles. Humans? Dangerous. Unpredictable. Why bring them here? The emperor circled them slowly, like a predator inspecting new prey. Humans were the only species the Dominion had never fully subdued. They resisted. They adapted. They survived. And that infuriated him. He stopped in front of Dr. Maya Hale, the geologist-turned-resistance leader who had defied the Dominion more times than he could count. Human women, the emperor declared, his voice echoing like metal on stone. Your species stands at the edge of extinction. Your men defied me. Your armies resisted me. He raised a metallic circlet glowing with eerie violet light, the Mind Scepter of Dominion. Even the nobles recoiled. A single activation could bind any mind in the galaxy. But you, the emperor said, staring at the women, will obey. He lifted the scepter high. Kneel. The nobles leaned forward, eager. Guards tightened their grips. The emperor smiled. But the human women did not kneel. Not one moved. Not one blinked. Doctor. Maya Hale lifted her chin and stared directly into the emperor's reptilian eyes. Her voice was calm, steady, fearless. We don't kneel. The chamber froze. Guards hesitated. Nobles whispered in terror. The emperor's smile faded. He tightened his grip on the scepter. Then you will break, he hissed, but deep in his chest, beneath the armor, behind the pride, a small, unfamiliar feeling stirred fear. The emperor's hiss echoed through the throne room as he lowered the Mind Scepter toward the 12 human women. The violet core pulsed brighter, humming with a frequency that made even the air tremble. The nobles watched with hungry anticipation that a single blast of that device could dominate entire species. The emperor expected screams, he expected collapse, he expected obedience. Instead, he heard something else, a soft hum. Low, steady, unbreaking. Doctor. Maya Hale had her eyes closed, chin lifted. The other women mirrored her stance exactly, as if their minds were suddenly linked, synchronized calm that a human calm. The emperor snarled, activate. A blazing wave of psychic energy blasted out from the scepter that it struck the women and went straight through them like a breeze through smoke. The aliens gasped. One noble fainted as a guard dropped his spear. Another stumbled backward in shock. The emperor blinked. Once. Twice. Impossible. The Mind Scepter of Dominion did not fail. It could bend entire civilizations to their knees. He jammed more power into the device, pushing it beyond safe output, the crystal core roaring like a wounded sun. This time, the psychic blast shook the pillars. Cracks raced across the throne room floor, but the human women stood unmoved, not shaking, not struggling, not screaming, just humming. Maya opened her eyes, now faintly glowing gold. The Resonant Gene, she whispered. The emperor's scales prickled. He had heard the rumors that a genetic anomaly found only in humans. Something ancient, something dangerous, something even the Dominion's greatest scientists could not decode, that a gene that lay dormant until the mind faced extinction-level threat. Then it awakened. Maya turned her head slightly toward the other women. A tiny nod. The signal, and like a single organism, the 12 stepped closer together. Their breathing synchronized, their heartbeats synced. Their hum deepened. A warm spread through the room, a pulsing human energy the aliens had never felt before. The emperor's second blast hit. This time, the women absorbed it. The energy cuffs around their wrists sparked, then snapped open, fried from the inside. The Emperor staggered backward. Or immune? Maya stepped forward. You try to control us. Her voice echoed with strange resonance. But humans weren't built to be controlled. The Emperor's claws shook that he roared, "Guards, subdue them!" Dozens of armored soldiers rushed forward. But the women didn't flinch. Their eyes glowed brighter, 12 golden sparks igniting at once. The hum peaked, the floor vibrated, the air thickened, and with a sound like distant thunder, a wave of human will burst outward. A shockwave no technology could produce, no shield could block, and no empire could contain. The first true activation of the resonant gene had just begun. The psychic shockwave rippled outward like a silent explosion, and fire, and smoke. But every alien in the throne room felt it slam into their minds like a cosmic hammer. Guards dropped their weapons. Nobles clutched their skulls and screamed. The glowing pillars flickered violently. The Emperor staggered, claws scraping against the floor, struggling to stay upright. What have you done?" he growled, "Doctor." Maya Hale didn't answer immediately. She stood surrounded by the other 11 women, all glowing faintly gold, their pulses beating in perfect synchronization. They weren't forcing anything. They weren't even attacking. They were simply being human, and that was terrifying enough. Across the hall, a guard raised a plasma spear with trembling hands that he charged. But before he made it 2 steps, his armor buckled inward as if crushed by unseen pressure. He flew backward into a pillar with a metallic crack. Another guard tried to fire a disintegration bolt. The weapon powered up, then instantly fused shut, as if melted from within. Maya's voice was soft, but it resonated through the hall like it came from 100 places at once. "We adapt. That's all humanity ever did." The Emperor snarled. "You are manipulating the Dominion's psychic field. That's impossible." Maya turned toward him. "We're not manipulating your field." Her eyes brightened. "We are overriding it." The Emperor froze, because overriding a planetary psychic field was something only a machine the size of a skyscraper could do. Not 12 unarmed women. Not anything biological. The hum deepened again, that a second shockwave rippled outward. This time, the throne room itself reacted. The walls shuddered. Cracks zigzagged upward. Decorative banners blew sideways. Some nobles tried to crawl away, but collapsed as the wave passed through them, draining all aggression from their minds. The Emperor's throat tightened. "This is no mere mutation. This is a species event." The resonant gene wasn't just defensive, it was communicative. That Maya's gaze sharpened. "They feel it too." "Who?" the Emperor rasped. "Every human in your empire." The Emperor's blood ran cold. Across the planet, across a dozen Dominion worlds, every enslaved or imprisoned human suddenly felt a spark ignite inside them, a warmth, a pulse, a connection, a whisper echoing from Maya and the others. "Stand, do not fear. You are not alone." The Emperor roared in rage and lunged forward with his claws extended. But he never reached her. A golden flare erupted around the women, forcing him to his knees mid-strike. That he choked, body trembling, pinned by sheer pressure. "Enough," he snarled, spit flying. "Humans cannot bend the will of the Threxian Dominion." Maya stepped closer, every light in the hall dimmed. "You asked what we are." Her voice vibrated through the chamber. "We are the species your empire should never have touched." The Emperor trembled. Around him, the nobles hid behind pillars, unable to breathe properly under the mounting psychic force. Maya lifted her hand slowly. The other women mirrored her, their humming unified into a single note, a sound ancient and terrifying, like the echo of thunder in a cavern older than time. The note became a roar. The air bent. The floor cracked open. The Emperor felt his mind slipping. "Stop, stop," he begged. Maya looked down at him. "Humanity's awakening isn't something you can stop." She lowered her hand. The resonant gene surged to its full strength. The Emperor screamed. The throne shattered. The Dominion shook, and the galaxy finally understood. Humanity was not just dangerous. Humanity was evolving. The throne room thundered with collapsing stone as the Emperor struggled to rise. The golden resonance pulsing from the human women pinned him like gravity itself had turned against him. But Emperor Zarvon was not done. Not yet. With a furious snarl, he slammed his claws into the shattered throne dais, drawing power from the Dominion's neural grid. Purple lightning crawled up his arms. His eyes blazed. "I am the mind of this empire. You will submit." A blast of psychic force erupted from him, a shockwave dense enough to distort the air. But Maya Hale stepped forward calmly, her bare feet crunching over broken crystal. The blast hit her and stopped, suspended in front of her like frozen water. The nobles gasped. Some fainted. Others crawled away, sobbing like frightened children. Maya touched the suspended psychic wave with a single finger. IT shattered into harmless sparks. The Emperor's expression finally cracked. For the first time in his reign of terror, he looked afraid. Maya approached the towering monster as if it were nothing more than a misbehaving child. "You built an empire on fear," she said quietly. "But you never understood what fear does to humans." The Emperor swung again, with a blade of raw neural energy. Maya didn't dodge. The blade dissolved the moment it touched the golden aura around her. The other women walked beside her, each radiating the same impossible power, 12 synchronized heartbeats echoing through the hall like war drums. The Emperor backed away until his tail hit the broken throne. "You cannot exist," he stammered. "No species resists the Dominion's will." Maya stopped just inches from him. "We resisted extinction, that we resisted nature. We resisted the universe itself." Her golden aura flared. "Why would we fear you?" The Emperor threw one last punch, a desperate strike filled with centuries of cruelty. IT never landed. A single wave of resonance blasted outward, and the Emperor's arms seized midair as if held by invisible chains. His entire body trembled, pinned by the sheer density of human will. Maya gently placed her hand on his forehead. The moment her skin touched his scales, a massive pulse erupted through the throne room. The walls flared white. Crystalline banners disintegrated. The nobles collapsed completely. The Emperor screamed, not from pain, but from realization. Maya wasn't killing him. She was disconnecting him from the throne, from the Dominion grid, from the psychic network that made him a god. Piece by piece, she stripped him of every stolen mind, every enslaved will, every ounce of counterfeit divinity. The Emperor's knees buckled. For the first time in his life, he knelt. The golden light faded, leaving silence behind. Maya whispered, "You tried to control human women. Instead, you awakened humanity." The Emperor collapsed, lifeless, hitting the floor with a hollow thud. The nobles stared in shock. The unstoppable ruler of 1,000 worlds had fallen by the touch of a single unarmed human, and the universe finally understood what kind of species humanity truly was. The throne room was silent. Not a whisper, not a footstep, only the faint hum of residual golden energy vibrating through the walls. The Emperor's lifeless body lay before the 12 human women, and the once proud nobles trembled, unable to comprehend what had just happened to Dr. Maya Hale looked over her companions. Their faces, glowing faint gold, reflected a mixture of exhaustion, awe, and determination. Humanity had done something no species had ever done. It had defeated a galactic emperor without firing a single weapon. Outside the palace, across the planet, and through the Dominion fleet's communication grids, the effect of the Resonant Gene spread. Every human prisoner, every enslaved human laborer, every resistant cell felt the surge, a pulse of power, courage, and unity. It was a whisper at first, "We are not alone. We are not weak. We are free." Then it became a roar, echoing in the minds of millions of humans across the galaxy. The Dominion fleet froze. Ships powered down mid-flight. Soldiers and officers dropped their weapons, dazed, their minds overwhelmed by the impossible truth. Humans could not be controlled. Humans could not be bent. Humans could not be broken. Maya raised her hand, and the golden resonance flared, expanding outward to encompass the entire planet. The pulse reached into orbit, into the Dominion Armada, and finally, through the warp channels, to every corner of human-occupied systems. The nobles of the Threxian dominion fell to their knees, not out of obedience, but out of absolute, raw fear and awe. They had witnessed what no empire should ever see: humanity's hidden power. Maya turned to the 12 women. "This is only the beginning," she said, voice firm. "The galaxy has underestimated us for too long. Humanity does not kneel. Humanity does not yield. And humanity always survives." The women stepped forward, their glowing aura lighting the ruined palace like a sunrise over a dead world. They were no longer captives, they were symbols. Symbols of resistance, courage, and unstoppable human will. The Dominion's communications lit up with reports of sudden, inexplicable compliance. Systems that had resisted human rule for centuries were now neutralized, not through fear, but through understanding. Humanity was not a species to control, it was a force to respect. As the human women left the throne room and walked into the shattered corridors of the palace, Maya sent a mental signal, a ripple of the resonant gene, across the galaxy. We are awake. We are united. We are humanity. And somewhere, in countless worlds across the stars, human hearts beat stronger, faster, synchronized by a singular truth. The age of fear is over. The age of humanity begins. The galaxy would never forget the day the alien emperor tried to control human women and failed. The galaxy would never forget the day humanity revealed its hidden power.